Welcome back to Simple Pure Whole Wellness. Today I'm going to talk about a common habit that may be keeping you up at night. Learn why nighttime blue light exposure can harm your sleep and disrupt circadian rhythms, and the steps that you can take to manage blue light exposure that can make a real difference. We each have an internal clock which coordinates our circadian rhythms within a roughly 24-hour cycle. This clock is highly influenced by blue light, such as that given off by technology. Your physiological clockwork influences when you begin to feel sleepy, when you wake up, and when you carry out various bodily processes. A group of nerves in the hypothalamus of the brain, known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus, acts as your master clock to coordinate your biological rhythms. This signaling center responds primarily to environmental cues such as light and dark exposure and air temperature to trigger the release of hormones, regulate body temperature, influence metabolism, and impact sleep and mood. Light has such a profound influence on your circadian rhythms. Your body clock can become disrupted or thrown out of balance by irregular exposure to light, occasional or continuous interruptions of sleeping patterns, working the night shift regularly, or other disruptions in your schedule. And this can lead to a variety of health impacts, including asthma, allergies, cardiovascular disease, elevated blood pressure, metabolic disorders, insomnia, neurologic disorders, and mood imbalances. To stay in sync with a roughly 24-hour cycle, the brain needs the input of the right type of light frequencies coming in through the photoreceptors in your eyes, which send signals directly to the hypothalamus in the brain to impact your circadian clock. Until the advent of electricity, indoor lighting, and various forms of technology, humans lived in harmony with the natural cycles of light and darkness. The sun served as the major source of lighting, and people spent their evenings in relative darkness. But today, most of us are surrounded by light into the late evening from electrical lighting, smartphones, tablets, televisions, and computers. These devices are especially rich in sources of short or blue-length light, which ranges from 400 to 490 nanometers. During the day, blue light can be helpful since it boosts mood, attention, and reaction times. But at night, when the body is supposed to be shifting into rest mode, blue light can disrupt the body's internal clock. For example, the use of light-emitting devices immediately before bedtime increases alertness at that time, which can lead to the difficulty in falling asleep and less REM sleep. Exposure to blue light is especially powerful at suppressing the secretion of melatonin, a hormone that influences circadian rhythms and helps to naturally bring the body towards sleep. For example, science has shown that blue light suppresses melatonin for about twice as long as green light and shifts circadian rhythms by twice as much, for example 3 hours versus 1.5 hours. Even dim light as low as 8 lux, or the level of brightness exceeded by most table lamps, can interfere with your circadian rhythm and melatonin secretion. Research suggests that lower melatonin levels might help to explain the association between exposure to light at night and some types of cancer, insomnia, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. There are some lifestyle changes along with emerging technology that can help you stay balanced with blue light exposure. These strategies can help you manage your light exposure to your benefit for your health and performance. Be sure to discuss these options with your physician and eye doctor before making changes to your lifestyle or corrective lenses. My first tip is to use dim red lights at nighttime. Switch your night lights to dim red lights since red wavelengths of light have the least power to shift circadian rhythm and suppress melatonin. Animal studies suggest that using red rather than blue light in the evening may help to decrease the impact of light on mood, sleep, and weight. Choose the dimmest light possible for use in the evenings, especially in the bedrooms, and opt for a soft red glowing nightlight like the one linked in the description box below to minimize disruptions when getting up during the night. Although it can be a challenging habit to break, one of the most effective ways to reduce your exposure to blue light and get a better night's sleep is to avoid screens before bed. Science suggests that using an e-reader, laptop, smartphone, or certain TVs before bedtime can be detrimental to a good night's sleep and lead to further health problems such as obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. We know that light from screens in the evening alters levels of wakefulness and alertness and suppresses melatonin levels. Researchers have found that iPad readers took longer to fall asleep, felt less sleepy at night, and had shorter REM sleep compared to printed book readers, and were also more tired than book readers the following day, even if both got a full 8 hours of sleep. Instead, opt to read printed books in the evening instead of reading with a light-emitting device. You can also use voice activation, like Siri, to make any phone calls or set your alarm for the next day to avoid having to stare at a screen. If you absolutely must use a screen in the evening, there are a few strategies that can help. One option to decrease the amount of blue light you're exposed to when using electronic devices is to adjust your technology and use filters that block blue light. Many smartphones and tablets include blue light filtering apps as part of their operating systems. For example, Apple's Night Shift is a built-in iOS app that can be scheduled to shift to warmer, redder wavelengths of light in the evenings and back to bright, more highly blue wavelength light in the morning. Another option is Flux, a free software that adjusts the light of your computer to match the cycle of natural sunlight where you live, reducing brightness and blue light in the evening. Another strategy is to wear blue light blocking glasses. Since many of us use technology all day long and it's not always practical to avoid technology completely after dark, I find that regularly using glasses with digital screen protection to block blue light helps to keep my hormones more balanced and improves my sleep. This is a habit that I've adopted personally, and I have a full post and video about why I wear blue blocking glasses and how they could benefit your health too. I'll link the post from the information box below and hope you'll check it out. The next strategy is a way to boost your natural protection. Studies suggest that the consumption of natural carotenoids can help to strengthen the eye's ability to block blue light. Your eye has an internal shield called the retinal pigment epithelium, a thin layer of cells near the retina which acts as a filter for blue wavelength light. These cells contain carotenoids including lutein and zeaxanthin, which help to absorb blue light. Lutein and zeaxanthin are carotenoid pigments found at high concentration in whole foods like parsley, spinach, kale, and egg yolk. You can check out my Glorious Greens for Great Health online workshop and cookbook linked in the information box below for some creative ways to incorporate more healthy greens into your life. Supplementation with macular carotenoids, lutein, and zeaxanthin has also been shown to increase macular pigment optical density and in turn reduce eye strain, eye fatigue, and other visual symptoms associated with prolonged digital screen time. I hope these simple, pure whole habits help you keep your circadian rhythms in balance. Check out the information box below for a link to the full post with all the details of my favorite products and strategies for reducing your exposure to blue light and helping you get a better night's sleep. I really appreciate that you've watched this video and for all of your support of Simple Pure Whole Wellness. If you've enjoyed this, I'd love if you'd give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more Simple Pure Whole Wellness.